season of the NBA on ESPN is underway.
Let's go!
Deep three. Tyler Hero. Oh, he hit it.
We have a liftoff.
Leonard.
Hey, this is a banger. Welcome into Hoop Streams. We're live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and the ESPN app. I'm Christine Williamson. We're leading you into the 76ers versus the Lakers. I got my two friends here, Gary Striewski, Treavor Scales. What up?
This is like a very, very sexy game. Lakers, the immovable force on the road, going to Philly, who hasn't lost but one time all season. MVP versus MVP candidate. I'm kind of juiced up about this game, guys.
We got to work on your adjectives, but I don't disagree with the idea of this
It
being
is a
something
sexy
that
matchup.
Can you not double down on it? I don't know why we needed to do that. But
I'm aroused.
Okay, that's very weird.
It's a good game.
Before we look forward, let's look back and get a quick little NBA rewind in here. First, we're going to start off with best beef.
Ooh, this is a
All
good
here
one.
for it. Yes.
I don't eat beef, so I never have any of that. But
You
last
gotta
night,
live a little, C-Dub.
last night
know how
we
long
had the Wizards versus the Rockets, and this is a new beef. I feel like John Wall and Russ.
Well, it's
a
Russ
little
against
chippy.
everybody, right? Like, I think that's an established sort of tone. But yeah, John Wall is here for the noise, and he provided all the work to his former team.
What I appreciate and respect out of this mature beef is that afterwards, John Wall straight up said in his post conference, listen, Russell Westbrook my entire career has been busting my A-word. So it felt good for like just the third time in my career to actually come out on the winning end of that. He's a jar, I'm a jar. It sounds like they kept it within the lines, but like, it's a mutual hatred and respect, which I love.
I will also say the trash talk, the chirping was effective. Russ missed both of them free throws. So
He was
you
really,
know.
I like the head thing. I feel like that's a signature Russ move, like when he's talking to people like this. You know what I'm
Real
saying?
talk though, who wins like in an actual fight?
Russell Westbrook.
Because he's like super athletic.
I'm sorry. What is John Wall?
True.
That's true.
True. True.
But I feel
UFC, Fight Island, John Wall, Russell Westbrook, make it
Dana,
happen.
holla at him.
Yeah, facts.
All right, let's go to Best Jersey Chronicles. Saturday night, Kyrie Irving and Bam Adebayo, they really wanted to exchange jerseys, as NBA players like to
Not
do. But
on my
that
watch.
can't happen now. The rules are the rules, and the security guard just broke that thing up.
There were like 4 hugs before this, and I just feel like we got whipped on establishing the tempo before we drew the line there. That's my only thing.
But they did figure it out. Here's Kyrie actually giving it to him a little bit later.
This rule is so silly. 48 minutes, they're sweating on each other, they're breathing on each other, body fluids are being exchanged. It just doesn't make sense. I get everyone's like, it's the optics, but come on.
I will also. I don't think Kyrie wanted the standard Heat jersey. He wanted that one, the gradient.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
for
he
sure.
ended
Yeah,
up
yeah.
getting.
He's like,
I don't want this.
I can't get this anywhere,
course,
bro.
of
I need
course.
yours.
Right now, give me that. Give me that. All right, let's move on to Best Point Guard. JaVale McGee, good,
Hey,
versus
chill out.
Celtics.
JaVale McGee has been doing this to us his entire career. He's picked his own adventure. Sometimes you get that out of JaVale McGee,
Yes.
and then
Yes, I
other
love
times
it.
you're like, how did this dude make a team?
It's just because that play had one of two
Is this-
possible results.
Is
that
this the
or
how did this go?
This is
make
the
a
latter.
team moment?
yes, exactly.
This is versus the Lakers.
Yes, perfect. That's what we can expect from JaVale McGee as well. Like Shaq in a full premier position.
Oh my God.
But no lie, kind of had handles at 7 foot. Like,
We won't
Kinda.
doubt that. Yeah, no. I will acknowledge that for sure.
kind of buttery.
In that moment, you know how like when little kids start dribbling and they dribble with their fingertips? That's what he just
Stanley
looked like.
from
He was
The
like
Office.
hitting. He was like dribbling the ball like this. It looked unathletic.
Listen,
That
from
poor-
his fingertips to the court, that's a big gap. That's a big gap. So however you can control the ball, do what you gotta do, bro.
All right, let's go to best last laugh. Lakers versus Cavs. LeBron has the ball to end the third quarter. Check this reaction out.
Looked like you were having an interaction with somebody on the sideline across from the Cleveland bench. I was wondering who that was, if that's someone you know, and if that added a little fuel to the fire, having someone sitting there live.
Yeah, someone I know for sure. Felt like he was just a little bit too excited about seeing me miss.
So LeBron was mad because somebody got excited about seeing him miss, and then he went off to score 21 points in the fourth quarter.
Go ahead.
Did we confirm who it was? Was it Gilbert? I mean, it was obviously an exec.
Yeah, but just don't chirp LeBron.
Hey, low-key though, you know LeBron loved it because he's going to take that exact clip, soundbite, and put it in his 10-part documentary. He was like, oh, this is going to be good.
And I took
Click
that
this.
personally.
Exactly. That's exactly what he's doing now. Everything he does on the court, he's basically editing his documentary that's coming out in 10 years.
Unbelievable.
Wow. Let's go to worst splash, brother. Steph Curry took it very literally. He actually caused a game delay because he did that. This is not, I feel like people should be more concerned about this kind of stuff when it comes to COVID and not jersey swapping.
I will say, look, they did clean it up sanitarily. Like, they got right on it. Somebody must have told that man a funny joke.
First time I saw someone with red hair, that was exactly my reaction. I was like, whoa!
Is that okay to say?
They don't have very many of those. Hey, you guys had a National Ginger Day on Sports Nation. I'm allowed to say that.
I don't think
that was a Sports Nation holiday. I think it was an actual holiday. So I feel like there's a difference.
I celebrated 365.
Moving on. Chrissy, can we holler at somebody else's sneaker game? I would enjoy that much more than awkward conversations about gingers.
We now welcome in our resident sneakerhead, Nick DePaula. And Nick, obviously yesterday was the anniversary of Kobe's passing. A lot of players obviously paid tribute to the Laker legend. What did you think about how they decided to commemorate him?
Yeah, we really saw the full spectrum of tributes for guys coming with their arrival fits. So PJ Tucker had all kinds of different Kobe items he was wearing. I loved Kyrie Irving's fit. He had a vintage Kobe jersey from, I think, his second season in '97. And then we also saw Trae Young with a purple and yellow pair of shell toes mismatched. So there was guys all across the league, you know, in a Sloan and Bennett hoodie there, Kobe tribute as well. So we saw guys with arrivals. We also saw sneakers on court. You know, you had Donovan Mitchell in a pair of customs, John Wall as well. So, you know, we're expecting to see a little more things tonight. From what I was hearing, Steph and Steph Curry are going to have some customs as well later on in the ESPN games tonight. So it should be an exciting night as well.
Sticking with the Lakers, LeBron James. He is highly anticipated. His new signature sneaker dropping soon or whatever have you. What's the latest you got on that?
Yeah, so LeBron the last few years has done LeBron Watch, which is basically a concept that takes some of the most beloved themes and colorways over the years, spins them onto the new models. But this is the first year he's going to do LeBron Watch with retros. So the 23rd of each month, he's going to spin back to a classic shoe. The first one that kicked it off is a tribute to the LeBron 4 graffiti, and we saw that come to life on the LeBron 8 retro. So it kind of opens up the kind of creativity in your imagination for what they could have down in store. And there's obviously a lot of beloved LeBron themes over the years that, whether it's the LeBron 8, LeBron 7, LeBron 9, even LeBron 3, they could start spinning on some new ones.
That just means we're getting old. LeBron still active. Already throwing it back to the retros. Gosh dang. All right, that's LeBron Watch, DePaula. What about Kuzma Watch? Everybody seeing him, if they're paying close attention, rocking the Puma Dreamer 2s. That dropped tomorrow, a collaboration between obviously Puma and J. Cole. What more can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so this is going to be the second shoe for J. Cole with Puma. Obviously, they launched the first one last summer around this whole premise of him still trying to make the league, which I'm not going to say I don't like his chances, but maybe not. But for Kyle, you know, for Kuz, he's kind of been the headliner for this whole Dreamer model. So he debuted him in yellow. He's expected to wear those again tonight. And really, we've seen J. Cole with his own basketball shoe, and then, you know, obviously Kanye with the Yeezys. But those are the two guys right now that have kind of an artist sneaker on the NBA hardwood. I got a real quick follow-up, but I love how Puma in the description says these are meant to be worn on, or if you're, you know, J. Cole and probably don't have hoop dreams anymore, or off the court. So it's fine. They covered all their bases. You mentioned Kanye, obviously, with the Yeezy line. Do we see any more collabs maybe down the road with an artist trying to transition into that, the hoop kick? Yeah, I think we're definitely going to see more of it. I mean, it's been something that we've seen brands kind of shift into. Obviously, Nike has partnerships with both Drake and Travis Scott. So, I mean, PJ's worn some Travis Scott Jordan 4s. In terms of new performance models, though, I think Travis could be one we see something from, and that'd be exciting.
I think J. Cole could totally make it in the league. I was really excited about the possibility of that. Okay, let's talk about a guy that actually is playing an MVP-like form, Joel Embiid. He's the only center with a signature shoe. What can you tell us about his kicks?
Yeah, he's the first center since Dwight Howard, and so it's been I think 5 or 6 years for an NBA center. But for Joel, he kind of jokes. He's like, I'm not a big man. I play like a guard, and of course his shoe, I think it was designed in that way. So you'll notice it's kind of a lower cut. It's kind of lightweight with all the mesh. So they kind of knew, like, if you take a traditional approach with just a straight big man shoe, maybe that might not work. And it's going to take him to have an MVP level season to obviously hopefully have some success with the shoe. But that's the kind of season he's having so far to kick it off.
That will certainly add to the hype. Thanks, Nick. I forgot to send you my address last time you were on the show.
Oh,
so
cut her,
I'll
Mike.
DM you with that.
Cut her, Mike.
I've been looking for size 9s the last week already,
Hey,
so I'm on it. I'm on it.
Okay,
I remember the
okay.
size. I'm gonna figure something out. I got you.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Nick. We'll see you next time.
All right, thank you.
All right, it has been established that I am never getting my dream sneakers. Neither is Gary. But that is besides the point. We can dream otherwise. We are going to dream up our 5-on-5 all-time pickup matchup between the two teams that are playing this evening.
No double dips.
No double dipping, no crossover, nothing like that. But I will give myself the first overall pick because I have the authority to do so.
I'll allow it.
Thank you. First overall going is a point guard, and the best to do it is Magic Johnson. It is undisputed, 6'7", just down the floor in transition, unstoppable force.
You're not wrong, and I'm not going to pick my point guard because it would be an immediate disadvantage. So you know what? I'm going to go flip side of that. The most dominant player to ever play the game, pound for pound or otherwise. You know who I'm talking about. Give me the Diesel.
Oh.
Shaq at 5.
Pound for that's
Obviously.
a lot of pounds when it comes to pound for pound.
North of 300.
For the record, I do value the idea of making sure that the ball continues to move on my squad.
Okay.
So, gonna add a recent addition to the purple and gold here. Give me LeBron at the 3. I just think it's necessary.
All I'm saying and seeing though is the ball moving too much. You know you got to get it to the bucket, right?
Yes.
And you know who was the best at getting it to the bucket, pound for pound, to ever play this game? Matter of fact, last time Reeboks were relevant, you know everybody wanted them and everybody had them. Give me
the answer.
The answer. Allen Iverson running my point. Listen, before everybody goes up in arms, my 2, hopefully, if he's not gone, will make up for one-on-one.
Yeah, because you're struggling right about
Yeah,
that.
right now we're not playing full court. It's a half court. It's half court.
You don't just get to determine that.
No, I'm saying my team.
Oh.
Half court zone.
Okay.
It's half court zone. Go ahead.
You're wise because you don't want these transition problems. But I will be able to set up a half-court offense, right? And again, I know this may seem like I'm going purple and gold heavy, but I do value this immensely. I need a post player, and I need. Look, gets no disrespect in the GOAT argument, but Kareem Abdul-Jabbar needs to get his in this instance because when it comes to 5-on-5, can you imagine Magic, LeBron, and Kareem just working?
We're imagining it right now.
Yes.
It's truly a beautiful thing. I mean, is he going to get through the immovable object that is Shaquille O'Neal?
Finesse.
Okay. You know who I'm going to go with at number 2?
Please.
And this is going to make up for the people who are like, Gary, Allen Iverson versus Magic Johnson, 1v1, you're in trouble. Not if Kobe is responsible for picking up Magic.
But that's like the
and, it's going to be,
choice.
And it's going to be 1v1. Kobe's going to take the ball up. Allen's going to take the ball up. You just never know what you're going to get. But right now, I have the most formidable scoring trio anybody can argue right now.
I'm not gonna doubt the offensive productivity of your squad right now. Who am I to even question that? I need a 4, and I need somebody that's super athletic that can run with these jokers.
Yeah, bro, because you.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No,
please.
I'm not going to throw any shade because I can't throw shade at your team right now.
Please.
Even though I want to. Go ahead.
And when it comes to the 4, I need, again, somebody that can run. Mind you, children, he didn't look like this at all times. Like this he looks different now. Charles Barkley, in his prime, was something special. He was running up and down the court. I know it's very difficult to imagine now, but he could run back in his time. So at the 4, give me Charles Barkley.
Gen Zers are like, is that the dude who sits behind the desk on TNT? He played basketball? Wow. Okay, I mean, to offset that pick.
Okay.
I think this is the only player on this board currently real time who can do that and both be a problem offensively. And listen, he's going to have to team up with Shaq to stop Chuck down low, but give me AD at the
Oh, that's
four.
yeah. I mean, this dude is playing at an otherworldly level.
I mean,
right
you put AD and Shaq in the paint, and there's no paint to see. It's all covered.
Yes, and then by the way, AD will step out on you, hit a three.
Yeah. Also, eat that, Trev, hold that.
I have to. Okay, so you got 4. I need a 2 then. I need somebody offensively that'll just fit seamlessly into this. See, this is a struggle. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was gonna give a shout out to Lou Willville. I was gonna put him in there because why not? This man has gone to Magic City, which is a place that is close to my heart.
Of course.
But regardless, I gotta find somebody else. Give me Julius Erving. Purely based off the throw. We'll make it work. I understand that he's primarily a 3. He's a guy that's more so on the wing and just can get to the rack, though. And that's all I need him to do because at the end of the day, between Magic and LeBron, who is running point on my team?
Dang, you stole my 3, bro.
Oh, snag.
I'm upset, but that's okay because I needed you to show a little bit more love to the Sixers because you just going all LA.
I prioritize.
Who's your favorite baseball team? The Yankees? Yeah, you
Okay.
like Alabama football too?
All right.
Okay, just
Okay,
all
pal.
Lakers Nation. Let me give you one more. All right, who's running me at the 3? There can only be one.
There can only be one.
Ah, but I need to find him. Why is Ben Simmons on this list? This is all-time great.
Make him a 3.
No.
He ain't got to shoot threes. Make him a wing cutter.
He dropping a hundo on you. Give me Wilt.
Gary has the tallest 5-on-5 roster of all time.
It's called the Battalion of Giants. All right, Wilt Chamberlain on the wing is going to be an absolute problem. You think you're going to get 3s up? Good luck.
I have no shot. It is what it is. I think I'm winning.
I don't.
That's it. Christine, back to you.
I mean, unfortunately, we don't see those squads going head-to-head. We got 76ers versus the Lakers at 7:30 p.m. Ben Simmons scoring 12.8 points per game and averaging 8.4 rebounds for the 76ers. Even though he still can't shoot threes, it doesn't matter. They're still number 1 in the East. And, of course, they're going up against the Lakers and Anthony Davis, who's averaging 19.3 points and 7.9 rebounds while shooting 50% over the last 10 games for Los Angeles. Gary, I know that you have something that you want to say about your team.
I'm fully aware Wilt Chamberlain is a 7'1" 3 guard, okay? Listen, he was a center. Treavor completely sabotaged. I was supposed to be Julius Erving. So for the sake of that, put AD 3, even though that doesn't really make sense. Wilt and Shaq are in my paint.
Hey, thanks for throwing me under the bus.
I had to because this is Hoop Streams. And people are like,
Listen,
does he know he played center? Yes, fully aware.
it doesn't
Please
really
leave me alone
matter.
on
It doesn't
Twitter.
really matter. Regardless, Treavor, your team won. I counted the amount of championships per team. You had 16. Gary, you only had 12. So regardless of whatever happened, you still picked
Hold
Wilt.
that.
However, Gary, I will let you talk about this because last year Hoop Streams was on site after the passing of Kobe Bryant on January 31st, and you were there. So talk about your experience and what you saw.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was just one of those times you're always going to remember where you were when you got the call. And here's, of course, us before the Lakers hosted the Blazers in their first game since Kobe's passing. Obviously, Perk and Cassidy right there. And I'll tell you, the mood was, it's hard to describe because everybody was there to remember and honor Kobe. And really the underlying thing was, oh yeah, there's an actual basketball game that counts, that matters. But what really kind of resonated with me wasn't the sight that we saw inside the Staples Center. It was actually for the 3 or 4 days we were actually in LA, right there at ESPN's LA Live office, in that promenade right outside of the Staples Center where you see these shots right here. From sunup to sundown, quite literally, thousands of people signing the boards, leaving their flowers, leaving their jerseys, leaving their heart-penned notes, just to tell Kobe and the other victims that we lost, just how much they meant to them personally. I think it was such a unifying moment in LA, the second largest market in the country, to have every single person, as you see right there, one of the promenade shots on any given night. I think that was the game night, January 31st. Yeah, it was really overwhelming. It was really breathtaking. And yeah, just one of those moments that, you know, you're gonna remember where you were when you were there or where you were when you were watching it.
The outpouring of love was always something that was so striking for me. I knew he was beloved as a figure within LA and, of course, throughout the basketball community and even in the world at large. This man touched so many different spaces. But even still, the magnitude of the love that wound up playing out over the course of literally this past 365 some odd days was still just such a reminder of how many people he touched in different ways and in different spaces, because that lit up the timeline like no other, from pure shock to being upset, even angry at times. But above all else, again, the outpouring of love was what struck me most.
You mentioned how much he impacted and the relationships that he had. A lot of those were behind the scenes, and I feel like in the last 365 days, like you said, Treavor, we've gotten to look and see a lot of the relationships that we didn't know existed. Yesterday on The Jump, they had a story about his relationship with Paul Gasol, and it was crazy because they were super tight, but you never really knew that. And also just his relationship with different reporters and journalists. Ramona Shelburne had a great relationship with him. Rachel Nichols had a great relationship with him. And, you know, those weren't things that were at the forefront, but he was just a really good guy and somebody that a lot of people didn't really know that much about. But the people that did, they certainly really loved him and adored him. So
yeah,
it's
and
been
Gary,
great to see.
Yeah, and Gary, you mentioned just how you remember exactly where you were the moment you got the news break. And frankly, the timeline of it all leading up to the tragic event and even afterwards, it was tragic and serendipitous at the exact same time.
Welcome, everyone. An electric atmosphere as the Lakers and the 76ers meet for the first time this season. All he needs is 18 points, so LeBron James will pass Kobe Bryant as the third all-time leading scorer.
It's such a surreal feeling, you know, playing for such a historical franchise and looking up to number 8 and 24, you know, throughout my career and throughout my childhood.
James goes across the lane, lays it up, and lays it in, and there it is. He just became the third leading scorer in NBA history, passing Kobe Bryant.
It's just too much. The story is just too much. I'm here in the Lakers uniform in Philadelphia, where he's from, where one of the first time I ever met him, gave me his shoes, he won All-Star Weekend. It's surreal.
NBA legend Kobe Bryant killed today in a helicopter crash in Southern California.
There were actually 9 people on the helicopter.
We were coming back from Philly. Like, everybody was crying. It was just like something that we didn't believe, something that was shocking to all of us. And Brian was like, man, I just talked to him before we got on this flight.
MVP! 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 MVP!
The whole wide world lost a hero. And we're literally standing here heartbroken in the house that Kobe Bryant built.
In the words of Kobe Bryant, Mamba out, but in the words of us, not forgotten. Live on, brother.
We now welcome in our Roz Gold on Woode. And Roz, we want to talk to you about the 76ers versus the Lakers, but first I want to talk about what we just saw. Obviously, you and I actually did the Hoop Stream show following Kobe's passing, and we got to talk a lot about his legacy that he left behind. A year later now, what are your thoughts about Kobe?
It still hurts, and it will forever. And when I think about how this changed not only the NBA, but it impacted the world, because Kobe represented so much more than basketball, but just bringing out the best in yourself. And anybody, a doctor, a teacher, a soccer player, or a basketball player could buy into that mindset of the Mamba mentality. And I know that that's something that LeBron James and the Lakers took very seriously. And actually the passing of Kobe could have put a lot of weight and certainly put a lot of pressure on last season's Lakers team, and they didn't like fall under that. Instead, I think it brought them closer together and faster, and they absolutely honored Kobe in the best way by bringing another championship to the Lakers franchise. And I just know, I'm gonna hold on to it. I know Kobe was smiling down. I know that's in his competitive spirit to see the Lakers get back on top.
I mean, one thing about the Lakers getting back on top, LeBron James is in his 18th season, and he's already having an MVP-like season. It's crazy. So what have you seen out of the King this year?
Yeah, I mean, LeBron is in his bag. And I'm glad you bring up it's his 18th season, because if you notice the way that he's dominating right now, the style in which he's scoring, that Cavs game he had 46, I mean, it's more cerebral than it is physical. He's not banging with people a ton. He's not dribbling the air out of the ball. It's a lot of catch and shoot threes, pull-up threes in transition, turnaround jumpers. If he's even driving, it's in the fast break, run-out layups or dunks like that, or driving straight to the basket, bursts of speed. So, you know, it's not just the efficiency of his shooting percentage, it's the efficiency of how he's using his energy. And in his 18th season, going to be 36, long championship run last year, short turnaround. It's the style of his dominance right now that I think is key, because it's going to preserve him for the long term.
Now, there's another MVP campaign going down on the other side of that sideline with Joel Embiid. Yeah, he's the only big in the league right now with a signature sneaker, but that's besides the point. He's also putting up these numbers that are really sort of carrying the 76ers franchise at this point. What can we expect from him as far as this MVP race goes?
Okay, Biggs, I see y'all out here. Embiid, you got Jokic working, but getting back to Joel Embiid, you know, when you think about the story of all of this, this is 2 seasons in a row now where Joel Embiid has come back from anguish. 2 seasons ago, Kawhi Leonard sent the 76ers home on a 4-bounce buzzer beater. Last season, Joel Embiid wasn't even voted on the All-NBA team, All-Defensive team, and I think he took that to heart. Guys, I think the biggest thing, and you see how he'll dominate inside against the defense, but the biggest thing he's doing is they can't defend him without fouling, and he's getting to the free throw line, leading the league in free throws. He's putting so much pressure on defenses to defend without fouling, but also on coaches, like having to make a decision, can I even put my best player on Joel Embiid, because I would risk possibly getting him in foul trouble.
AD listening to this being like, all right, let's tip the ball. All right, Roz, I'm going to stop short of calling this a finals preview, because I still don't trust the Sixers, even after everything that you said about Joel Embiid. But it's the best team in the West facing the best team in the East, and Philly 9-1 at home. At home tonight, Lakers on a road tear in their own right. So, straight up, who's winning?
Right. You know, it's funny you say you don't even trust the 76ers just yet. In many ways, this game is a litmus test for them. You know, some people have pointed to their schedule's been a little fluffy to start the season. Well, now they get a chance to go up against the reigning champs and the best in the West and see where they stand. But ultimately, if you're asking me for this game, I mean, the Lakers are not only favored to win this game, they're favored to run it back and win the championship. You watching highlights, you got Montrezl Harrell, you got Schroeder, you got all these different contributors. They have depth at every position. Players are contributors and either have championship experience or are experienced vets. They come at you in waves on offense and defense. The Lakers are deep, and it kind of feels like they haven't even tapped into all of their potential yet.
Okay, Roz, I know you just moved, and so I want, before you go, I want to point out the fact that on Instagram you shared a nice look of your closet. It looks all nice and organized and stuff like that. But you also flexed a little bit because you obviously have a sneaker plug. We had Nick DePaula on a little bit ago. So what's the latest heat that you have in your closet, sis? I've seen it. So what do you got in there?
Yeah. You know what? The latest package I've had actually came from KD and my family at the boardroom. They sent me the KD 13s.
Oh, she was ready.
I was ready. I mean, I heard you had Nick on the show, so I was like, maybe I should bring my sneakers out.
See?
So these are the Sly Servants, and they came with matching headphones from Master and Dynamic.
A1.
See?
A1.
So, yeah, I'm hyped.
A1.
Oh, wow.
Why am I paying full retail?
I wasn't expecting you to flex on us like that.
But I mean,
I love to see it. I love to see it. I mean, you can't complain about it. I mean, Gary's mad, but I'm not. All right. Thanks so much, Roz. We'll talk to you soon. Gary, you good? Just make
The only thing I get in the mail is bills and people trying to extend me credit.
Wow, yeah, same.
That's it.
Oh my goodness. All right, LeBron James. I mean, this dude is
46 on Monday.
46 points.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's clarify.
Absolutely.
He's close.
Yeah, exactly. No, he's not close. 46 years old. All right, I want to ask you guys a question as we close out the show.
Yeah.
Who you got?
Go ahead, Trev.
Lake Show. Continue that, make that streak. What is it, 9-0 or 10-0 at this point?
It'll be 11-0 on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to go against that. I mean, the Sixers have Joel Embiid. The Lakers have LeBron, and everybody else is a wrap.
I'm a Doc Rivers fan. I'm just going to choose the 76ers. All right, guys. Thanks for watching the Hoop Stream.
Doc Rivers ain't hooping.
Do not give me that thumbs up. I can't go against Doc. Thanks for watching Hoop Streams. We'll see you next week.
Yes, you
76ers
can.
versus
It's
Lakers right
easy.
now on ESPN. Watch it.
Lakers.